Hello everyone, welcome back to Let's Play Great Ace Attorney 2. In our last episode, we found out Klint Van Zieks was actually the professor. Genshin Asogi was fully innocent, and Lord Strongheart knew all about it the entire time. Azuma. He did it for me. And as I told him at the time, my motive was simply to protect Britain from the damage the truth would do. To protect this country's law and order, at any cost.
Objection!
I've never dared let myself even consider this possibility until now. But in the light of all this treachery, I have to ask. The mastermind behind the Reaper of the Bailey. Was it you, Lord Mael Strongheart? A rather brilliant idea, wouldn't you say, Lord Barak Van Zieks? That's the spirit of your late brother. The paragon of justice. Should return to reap justice for his sibling. Could there be a more appeasing tale for London's masses, I ask you? What brazen... I knew you'd play the part to perfection. But your role really wasn't that of some embodiment of death. No, you were London's guardian angel. An angel with bloody hands? I think not. I wouldn't be too sure. Step inside the world of Shin Megami Tensei. You'll meet plenty of them. Those who had cooperated with me already were only too happy to participate in my plan. Inspector Gregson, Dr. Wilson. My minions worked tirelessly to ensure that the finger of guilt would never come to rest on you. It's all thanks to them you were exalted as the demigod the Reaper became. But Dr. Wilson left Britain 4 years ago, when he was invited to work in Japan. That's right. So I had to employ the services of his young protege after that. Dr. Courtney Seethe. Dr. Seethe. So what with the execution of the Professor and the subsequent reign of the Reaper and the Bailey, I've successfully safeguarded law and order in our mighty capital for the past decade. Jeez, you're frickin' Moriarty here. That is everything. My lords, ladies, and gentlemen, I do hereby confess it was I who sired the concept of the Reaper. However, let me say in my defense, it was all for the preservation of law and order across the entire empire. Lord Strongheart did it? An unforgivable collection of crimes, but still, all those who died at the Reaper's hand were rotten to the core anyway. It was all in aid of keeping London safe. There is no one left now who can reveal the precise truth of what happened 10 years ago. Therefore, this trial can go no further. Now, I would like to entreat all those present. Beyond these 4 walls, nobody need know the truth. Even Her Majesty must be protected from this. Oh, really? I trust you all appreciate the importance of my request. It is, of course, for the good of the country. Can he do this? Can the trial really end now?
Hold it!
I have one last question. For the accused, Lord Van Zieks. What? Of course I know that you're a highly accomplished prosecutor, so I find it hard to believe that you didn't have any doubts at all. That you never suspected your older brother. Yes, The same thought occurred to me. It was only once, but yes, I couldn't say that I never had my doubts. My brother's sense of justice was extremely strong. Perhaps too strong, I observed. At that time, there were members of the aristocracy who were bleeding the country dry for their own game. And since they were nobles, they were untouchable. For my brother, it was a source of great turmoil. And coincidentally at the same time, the professor began his terrifying reign. During the time of the professor killings, my brother did not appear to be himself. And that made you suspect? Yes. But it was only once. No more. Only once, really. Klint wasn't the culprit. That was my conclusion at the time. And I still believe that now. Do you have any evidence to support that idea? The third victim was the Lord Chief Justice at the time. It was he who had recognized my brother's potential and trained him as a prosecutor. No matter what the circumstances, it's unthinkable that my brother would have killed his friend and mentor. Unless he was made to do so. That will do. Neither Klint Zieks nor Genshin Asogi still walk this earth. However much we debate the matter now, we cannot hope to reach a conclusion. But there are only two extant pieces of evidence from the time. The woebegone ring that acted as the incriminating evidence to condemn Genshin Asogi, and the 3-page last will and testament planned in black ink and left behind by the man. The wretched truth of what happened is exactly as I have explained. But we only have 2 of the pages. Later today I will present myself at the Ministry of Justice for whatever sanction is deemed appropriate. That is all. Court is adjourned. I don't think so.
Objection.
Thank you, Kazuma. Me? If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't have made this 11th hour discovery. What discovery? My lord, I'm afraid. I must insist the trial continues. I beg your pardon? As the court has been reminded today already, you must stop at nothing to uncover the whole truth. And to that end, one particular statement made by somebody in this courtroom moments ago revealed a very subtle contradiction. What contradiction? But all I did was ask the accused one simple question. Well, it began with Lord Van Zieks and his recollection of his brother. The Lord's strong heart didn't permit the defendant to speak at length. I merely pointed out we can draw no further useful conclusions here. So what on earth is the contradiction? One of them definitely just said something contradictory. Time to identify who. It's strong heart. Come on, Ryunosuke. Think back over the words. Find the problem. There are only 2 extant pieces of evidence. The woebegone ring and the 3-page last will. We only have 2 pages. I said that last time. Lord Strongheart, would you care to explain? Explain what, counsel? Among the statements you made just a few moments ago, something you said was inconsistent with a certain piece of evidence we have. Inconsistent. And whilst an inconsistency remains, the defense has a right to pursue an explanation. Ryunosuke, what? Let me warn you about the statements you are making, counsel. They may very well prove fatal. You claim my words contain a contradiction? Which piece of evidence? Asogi papers. This here is the will left behind by Mr. Asogi. The 2-paged will. What? Yet moments ago, your precise words were the 3-page last will and testament. Ah! Could it be that originally there was a 3rd page? For a moment, I thought that perhaps you'd identified something worthwhile. But it's a mere trifle, I see. A trifle? Governor Caden! Hey, what can I do for you, sir? You were present when the Japanese man penned this last will and testament. Aye, I was there for sure. I remember the black worm-like scrawls to this day. And, I'm quite certain, my lord, there was a 3rd page at the time. What? Only the first 2 pages were the actual will vote. If I mind correctly, the 3rd was a message to his lad back in Japan. For legal purposes, we required only his will. And we wouldn't have wanted any uncomfortable words about Britain to get back to Japan, eh? So it was decided that the 3rd page ought not to have been sent.
Objection.
That's low! How dare you make that decision? I had a right to know what it said, to hear my father's final words to me. The courtroom is no place for sentimentality, counsel. As it happens, I have the 3rd page of the document with me here now. My father's message. It will be given to you at the end of these proceedings. It'll be too late once this trial's over. Even the slightest thing could give us a vital clue. My lord, the defense calls for Genshin Asogi's last words to his son to be read out loud before the court now. Your request is denied. Inevitably, maudlin words can be of no consequence now.
Objection.
The prosecution agrees. The court should know the contents of that message. Every possible piece of evidence must be thoroughly examined. Very well, then. I got overruled. Governor Caden, you will read the 3rd page of the document for all present to hear. Yes, sir. Only, I should point out, my lord, that I cannot actually read Weron language. This beautiful handwriting? Shame on you, Barry. If I could be of assistance here, I'd be happy to translate the words into English for the court. Father! You're still here, are you, Miss Dr. Mikitoba? Naturally, I consider myself a member of the judiciary, albeit a lowly one. But perhaps I should quietly withdraw after I've translated Genshin's message. Your cooperation is much appreciated. Kazuma, the truth is shrouded in darkness, a darkness only our clan's great sword can pierce. Mighty Karuma, twist thy head and watch them fall, all thy mortal foes. That's the end of the message, it would seem. A haiku poem? Twist thy head? Father! What is Karuma? The name of the Asogi clan's famous sword. A razor-sharp blade known to all, passed down for generations, it embodies Japanese spirit. It's not known to me. It's the katana sword that was submitted as evidence earlier in these proceedings. The one worn by the prosecution counsel when he confronted Inspector Gregson. All these procrastinations are beginning to try my patience. Adjournment of this court is long overdue. As a presiding judge, I've been as accommodating as possible for the will of the courtroom. However, despite all that, no new information has come to light. In pursuit of justice, Lord Klint Van Zieks tragically lost all sense of morality. when he murdered his former mentor, clearly he was already devoid of his normal faculties.
Objection!
How dare you! I refuse to believe that of my brother. Too much time has passed. We cannot overhope to know more than we do now. Especially since the alleged will he penned in his final moments appears to have been lost forever. Lord Strongheart, you appear to be in something of a hurry to wrap things up. I wonder why. He knows we're onto him. We've heard you state time and time again during the proceedings that everything you did was in the interests of protecting British law and order. And I stand by that. Without the Reaper, we could never have achieved the reduction in crime the capital has seen.
Objection!
What about Inspector Gregson, then? And Dr. Wilson? They were no criminals. You used them to achieve your ends, and then you had them killed. However you dress it up, there was nothing fair or just about that. Lord Strongheart, what exactly is it you're hiding? Dr. Mikitoba, were you not to quietly withdraw after the translation of your former associate's will? In this courtroom, no argument carries weight unless it is supported by evidence. And it would seem that the defense has no more evidence to present. Now we got one more piece. I hereby order all discourse from these proceedings to be struck from the record. This is my last chance. I have to present some decisive evidence now, or it's all over. But can I? Yeah, we can. Wait, my lord. As it happens, the defense does have evidence to present. What? Don't be absurd. Oh, we caught him off guard. There's nothing of relevance remaining from the time.
Objection!
It's high time you realize something, my lord. This gentleman has an uncanny habit of producing evidence at the final hour that had escaped everyone else's attention. Nonsense. What is it, Ryunosuke? What do you have? I dare say, the final decisive piece of evidence will reveal the whole truth about this rotten tale. How can you? Decisive? Well, it would appear there's no escaping it now, my lord. Let it be so, then. Present whatever you think you have that can settle this decade-old enigma, if you're capable. What exactly is this evidence that the defense claims to be decisive?
Take that!
What did I say, counsel? If you're capable, were my words. I forgot to do. Alright. Come on! We know that Asogi-san negotiated, and I didn't examine it. Yeah, we got him in a bad mood. Mighty Karuma. Twist thy head and watch them fall, all thy mortal foes. That's the proper way to use the sword, is it? Maybe I should try it. It hurts my neck, that's the trouble. If I might make a suggestion, I think perhaps it doesn't mean your head. I once studied the history and development of the katana some time ago, and as I'm sure you're probably aware, the sword's head is part of the very end of the hilt. written as head in Japanese, but it's pronounced as Kashira, I believe. Mr. Sogi's words really meant twist the butt of the hilt. You don't think? Well, well, well. It's a tightly wound sheet of parchment. And it's written in crimson. I pen this, my last will and testament, in the final moments before my inevitable and willing death. It's it. Klint Van Zieks. And the date, 10 years ago on that fateful night. It's been silently concealed in Karuma, and nobody knew. The last will and testament of Lord Klint Van Zieks. Oh my goodness. Look at this. This is unbelievable. There is a single piece of evidence that can clarify what really happened 10 years ago. The last will and testament of Klint Van Zieks. A wonderful, astute observation, I'm sure. But in case it has escaped your notice, that document was lost long ago. That's right, it was. Only, I have it right here, discovered just moments ago. Impossible! That can't be! Everything that's happened comes back to this will. This document is the key that will unlock the entire mystery. My brother's last will and testament? Where did you find that? It was rolled up inside this. Inside Karma? The ultimate weapon Genshin Asogi obtained has lain undisturbed in the hilt of his sword all these years, just waiting for the right time to emerge and reveal the truth. The signature and seal certainly look official. My God, it's true. It's my brother's handwriting. There can be no mistake. I forbid the contents of that document from being read out. Do you hear me? I strictly forbid it.
Objection.
You can't do that, my lord. The document could explain everything. The document could literally destroy the meaning of justice in this country. I demand you hand it to me, at once. Why? What are you trying to hide? Could it be? You already know what's written on this page. What are you implying? Court is adjourned with immediate effect. Clear the courtroom!
Objection.
Do that, my lord, and you'll suffer a fatal blow as Lord Chief Justice. I beg your pardon? Forcibly ending a trial without good reason? And not any trial, a close trial by order of Her Majesty the Queen. To defy the monarch's will is treason. Lord Klint Van Zieks really did pen a will that day. It's exactly as the young Japanese man said. Read it out, now! We've a right to hear what's in that will. A right, and a duty. Well, 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 my lord. It would rather appear as though proceedings aren't going to go quite as you'd hoped. You fools! Go ahead, Ryunosuke. Read it. The prosecution gives its full support. Very well, then. No! For God's sake! No! I penned this, my last will and testament, in the final moments before my inevitable and willing death. The hour is 11 p.m., and I sit at my writing desk in my office. My good friend Asogi stands at my shoulder. He he has expressed his intent to invoke the dying ritual of the duel, that I may depart this world with honor, an honor of which I am utterly undeserving. The Japanese are a truly merciful people. Nice outfit, man. I, Klint Van Zieks, Lord of the Manor of the Van Zieks estate, hereby confess to the following. I am the killer who has come to be known in society as the Professor, guilty of 4 counts of murder. I will not here discuss the corruption rife amongst the aristocracy, which is to me as one of them so apparent. However, 6 months ago I took the life of a member of the House of Lords at the heart of the depravity. A demon who habitually sacrificed the common man to further his own interests, abusing his position of power. The law is impotent against such vile avarice. Only a fellow demon can rid society of this menace. That demon was my quarry, upon whom I willingly set my great hound. But though I am a hunter of some experience, I am a poor felon, it seems. My guilt was at once recognized by another, and I became subject to his extortion. He held over me the threat of exposing my wicked crime to my beloved wife and brother. Under that threat, I have done this man's bidding, for months now, killing those he demanded I kill. As I watched my former mentor perish before my eyes at the jaws of the hound I commanded, I realized I had lost the last shred of decency within me, and sunk to the level of a wild beast. There is no path back to the light, be it I or my dear friend Asogi who dies this night. I'm eternally damned. To my extortioner, male Strongheart, may you feel the jaws of the beast at your throat every time you swallow. So now we know, yes, Klint Van Zieks was a murderer. But somebody was directing him and naming his victims. And we know who that is now.